Accucare Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Brick, New Jersey offers a state-of-the-art facility with all the best and current treatments. With athletic trainers, massage therapists, and doctors of physical therapy, Accucare has everything you need to stay healthy and perform at the highest level. Cupping, stretching, laser therapy, compression boots, and a full-body cryo chamber are just some of what you can expect at Accucare. Check out their website and social media links in my bio. No prescription is needed to see them. So call them today and start feeling and performing at your best. Again, thank you to Accucare for sponsoring the Shore Football Report. Just got two things to say right now. First, I want to thank Accucare. They are awesome, our great sponsor. Get there. If you haven't been there yet, make an appointment, get to Accucare, especially towards the end of the season when your body needs to get that extra push and be healthy on the football field. Rehabilitation, recovery, they are the best. Make an appointment, call them and tell them you're coming. All right. The Shore Football Report is definitely endorsing going to Accucare. They're the best out there right now. And they have athletes going there around the clock, all sports, and that's that. And also, when you're transitioning to another sport, your body is gonna be needing this Accucare treatment because you're using different body parts. So just make sure that you utilize Accucare, located in Brick. They are the best. I love being associated with them. They are part of the team, the Shore Football Report team. All right. The other thing I want to say is this: subscribe to the Shore Football Report YouTube channel. Every one of you, when you watch it, click subscribe. It's free. It's free. Turn the notifications off if you don't want to hear it, but subscribe. By you subscribing, says thank you. I need 1,000. I want 1,000 subscribers. Please, 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 please subscribe. Scott Stump says I don't say it enough on our show. That's why we don't got 1,000 subscribers. But subscribe. All joking aside, it's the cool thing to do. All right. Join the Shore Football Report team. We got so many things that are going to be going on our YouTube channel, not just our talk shows. We're going to have extensive all-star team coverage that we're going to do. Also, yes, you've been asking, the Stumpy Awards, they're coming back. The Stumpy Awards are coming back from 8 years ago, and I know you guys are going to love it. So we're going to have all my all-star teams, all county, all shore, all division, my rankings of players, because I changed things up and seeing how guys are playing, adding the freshmen, the 2026s are going to be included in that rankings too. It's a lot of stuff, all going to be on our YouTube, the Shore Football Report YouTube. Subscribe. You won't want to miss it. In the off season, I'll be doing things around the clock for recruiting, talking with college coaches and coaches from all over the country will be on my talk shows throughout the off season. There's no off in my season. All right. Subscribe to the Shore Football Report. And also, more importantly, make an appointment to Accucare. Let's talk regional invitational tournament, and they're in the semifinal round. Let's go over what this thing is all about, the invitational tournament, the regional invitational tournament. It's something new that the NGSAA put in place because they wanted to have meaningful games for teams that did not play in the state playoffs. So in the past, if you didn't make the state playoffs, they would just give you random teams to play, and it just was meaningless to a lot of players and coaches and fans. So they put this into an exciting tournament. Teams that finished 17 to 24 were put in a bracket to play in these competitive games and the right to be called the regional invitational champion for each group. All right? So let's go over what short conference teams are in still the semifinal round. For the South Jersey Group 5, it's Howell in the short conference, the only team in the semifinals. Last week, Howell won 26-8 over Perth Amboy, where South Brunswick had a bye. Now, Howell is a very talented football team, led by Jack Gortenstein. He plays quarterback, he plays receiver, he does it all. And even Egan Nelms, the junior quarterback, has really had a great season. Both of them have combined for a little bit over 1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns in Coach Hill's offense. Wide receiver, junior Kevin Maloney, 52 catches, 589 yards, and 6 touchdowns, is having a great season. And don't forget, my number one tight end in the class of 2022 is Damian Padilla, who's got 38 catches, 480 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So they have weapons offensively. And defensively, they've been playing very well, too, with defensive end Seven Miller, linebacker Ray DeFrancisco have come up with key plays during the season. But Howell's been a little inconsistent, where they could possibly have been a state playoff team. They lost a couple close games that hurt them, but they're a very good football team. They're a very good football team, and they have the capability of moving to the finals in the South Jersey Group 5 Regional Invitational Tournament against South Brunswick. I believe they're going to win this round. I think Coach Hill is going to get these guys going. Get a couple games under their belt where they're winning, get that program used to winning in tournament play. I think it would only elevate Coach Hill and his program that way. So I look for Howell to come up atop against South Brunswick in the South Jersey Group 5, one of the semifinals. In the other South Jersey Group 4, we have 2 teams playing still from the short conference. On the one side, we have 5-3 Red Bank playing at 5-3 Steiner. Red Bank last week won 42-7 over a 1-win Princeton football team, where Steiner beat Cherry Hill East 21-12. I like what Coach Fallon's doing over there at Red Bank. He's building a program. They just came short of making the state playoffs. I love their offense. Their offense is dynamic, led by Pierce Olson, threw for just over 1,070 yards, 12 touchdowns. Kion Martin, the senior outstanding wide receiver, 25 catches, 444 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And Lamar Hicks, the multi-athletic guy who could play anywhere, with 21 catches, 413 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Defensively, they're coming on strong. Griffin Egan's doing really well, both O-line and D-line. I just look for Red Bank. I just see Red Bank winning this football game just because they're playing good football at the end of the season, and I think they have a chance to win this whole bracket. I really, really believe so. And this would be great for Coach Fallon and his young staff to really cement themselves into the future, because I think they got a lot of good athletes coming back. They're playing good football. They're 5-3. I kind of see Red Bank taking it to Steiner in this game. And on the other side of the bracket is Brick Memorial, who's 5-4 at 4-6. Northern Burlington. Brick Memorial last week beat another short conference team, Toms River East, 23-7, where Northern Burlington beat Brick 23-7. You know, the stars were aligned for a rematch for Brick Memorial and Brick to play again after they played 2 weeks ago. It didn't work out. Northern Burlington ruffled the feathers on that with a 23-7 win against Brick. So we know Northern Burlington is going to be a tough game because they beat Brick and Brick beat Brick Memorial. But that doesn't mean that's going to happen this week. Brick Memorial is led by one of the best offensive football players in the state of New Jersey, Connor Dietz, a junior quarterback. He's got a combined 3,248 total yards and 31 touchdowns. So he's averaging over 300 yards and over 3 touchdowns a game. Just an outstanding season he's having right now. Connor does everything. Does defensive back. He's also their kicker. He really does it all. Offensively, they're averaging 444 yards. And they're very explosive. I love the sophomore running back that's really starting to complement Connor Dietz real well, and his name is Kevin Andrews, a sophomore. He has got one kick return touchdown this year and has 770 yards rushing, 7.33 average, 12 touchdowns. Also can catch the ball out of the backfield with 12 catches, 170 yards. I think those two guys are going to be able to take it to Northern Burlington. I see this a high-scoring game. But I kind of like Brick Memorial in a little bit of an upset. I believe in Brick Memorial's offense. If their defense can come up with a stop here or there, Brick Memorial can take this win. And I think it's going to be a short conference final in the South Jersey Group 4 Regional Invitational Tournament, Brick Memorial and Red Bank. That would be great. Now, let's talk South Jersey Group 3. There are 3 teams from the short conference: Wall, Pinelands, and Barnegat. And I know a lot more about Pinelands and Barnegat than I do Wall, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that game right there. But let's talk about the first game. 7-3 Carteret at 2-6 Wall. Carteret beat Robbinsville 34-29 last week, where Wall beat Allentown 42-21. Wall was 0-6 in the beginning of the season. Now they play in a brutal American division where they have two parochials in there, and they play all the Group 5s, and the top teams in the short conference are all stuffed in the American. Once you leave the American, you can start getting some breathing room and start kind of throwing your weight around against other programs, and it showed. They had a great game against Manalapan, and they beat Allentown. So they're on a 2-game winning streak. They're 2-6. I think they're a dangerous 2-6 football team. I think that they're going to beat Carteret. I really like Wall. Anthony Gortz, the running back, is really looking good lately on both sides of the football. Billy Carr, the two-way offensive defensive lineman. I love Pat Donahue at tight end and also at the linebacker position. They're a physical football team, and Coach Guerreri is going to have these guys playing tough physical football. And again, he's getting his philosophy put on that program, and look for Wall to really turn it around next year with a good run in this tournament right here and what they're doing. Wall over Carteret, I believe, is going to happen. Now, Pinelands and Barnegat, I do know a lot about both teams. It's a rivalry game. They have played in the beginning of the season. Barnegat squeaked one out at home, 7-6. Ideally, it's home again. Pinelands has not beat Barnegat since 2009. It's a geographical rivalry, but Pinelands has shortened has squeezed the rivalry a little bit this year, and they got one of their best football teams in a long time. John Tierney, the first-year head football coach at Pinelands, 6-3. They have 3 games they've lost by 10 points or less combined. He's done a great job at Pinelands, and Coach Covine is doing a great job replacing me the last 2 years. Very proud of him and his staff, and he's got it going where Barnegat's in good hands, not just this year, but for the future. Let's talk offensively at Pinelands. Why do I like Pinelands? I'll tell you why I like Pinelands offensively. I like their offense with Ryan Allen, who's having a great year, probably the best quarterback I've known at Pinelands. I would say ever, really. Over 1,000 yards passing, 11 touchdowns. Throwing, he's run for 392 yards and 2 touchdowns, giving them another dimension that Pinelands has not had. I could recall ever. Now, his favorite wide receiver is Mike Frawley. He had 6 catches, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. Mike, a junior, has 37 catches, 625 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Yes, you heard it here. Pinelands is throwing the football. Pinelands is throwing the football, and that dimension there is making them a scary football team, not just this week, but also in the future. With that, running back sophomore, Jamin Parkinson, having an outstanding sophomore year, 876 yards and 12 touchdowns behind a very big offensive line led by Anthony Iguano, a sophomore defensive lineman. Really good. Defensive end, Mike Hall. is looking like a Division I football player coming off the edge. He really hit his potential this year, being very, very aggressive and active on the edge, and he's going to be a bear against Barnegat this week. Their linebacker Liam Villinger is one of the leaders in the short conference in tackles. He's only a junior, and he's very active, and he just goes to the ball all the time. He's a ball hawk. I love defensive back Stephen Borden, who also is a kick returner, had a 99-yard touchdown 2 weeks ago. A very good football player. He's a ball hawk. He goes to the ball, and he's a playmaker. Stephen Borden will be roaming the defensive backfield during Barnegat when they have on offense. Now let's talk about Barnegat. What do they have? They got the all-time leading rusher in school history is JoJo Bivens, a senior, dynamic. He has 932 yards this year and 9 touchdowns. And he, again, every yard he gets just adds to his total at Barnegat. He has an outstanding career, and he needs to looking to break the 1,000-yard mark. This week needs only 68 yards. Tight end sophomore Cole Toddings has 20 catches, and he's also an outside linebacker, and he's a big part of their offense and defense, and only a sophomore, and he's also their long snapper and does a great job with that. Nick Porcelli is a two-way stud player that plays offensive guard and D tackle. The Porcelli's family have been huge in the Barnegat football program, and Nick Porcelli is just adding to the legacy of the Porcellis in the Barnegat football program. Defensive end senior Rodney Burke is playing very well at the end, and Coach Coving's stingy defense, which is one of the tops in Ocean County. Linebackers Connor Armstrong and Seth Freewall doing a great job against the run and also pressuring the quarterbacks in the pass game. Defensive backs, Myquan Rush Esdale is one of the top sophomore safeties in short conference, and add Keith Gordon at corner to kind of stifle the pass game. So they got their hands. That's going to be a great matchup with the defensive backs of Barnegat versus the pass game of Pinelands. There's some very intriguing matchups. I love the offense versus defense on both sides of the football. It's going to be an outstanding game. It's going to be a great atmosphere. One thing I have to say is that John Germano, the athletic director of Barnegat, does a great job of creating an atmosphere that's second to none on home games, and he's going to orchestrate a very, very classy fans and just a great atmosphere. It'll be a great game to come watch down at Barnegat, watching two rivals, Pinelands and Barnegat. Great atmosphere, two good football teams that want to just end the season on winning notes and also go to the South Jersey Group 3 finals of the Regional Invitational Tournament. I'll be there. The Sure Football Report will be there. And like I said, Pinelands and Barnegat have never played each other twice. They did play this year. They play every single year. And, it's very tough to beat a team twice. And Pinelands is a very stingy football team, and they got a lot of confidence. So it's going to be a very exciting game on both sides. The tradition of Barnegat and the Pinelands kind of coming out party where they're looking to be a good football program for not just this year and the next couple of years. And I really like that. The tradition of Barnegat and the up-and-coming program of Pinelands. It's going to be a very exciting game this Thursday at Barnegat.